Hi everybody, welcome back to Movie Related. Well, we finally saw Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, probably one of the worst titles for a sequel out there because it just doesn't roll off. Everyone still says a Hitman's Bodyguard.
I say Hitman's Bodyguard's wife.
Yeah. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Starring Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, and Salma Hayek. Main characters. Does it hold up as good as the first one? I think we all enjoyed the first one. Does this one, is it worth watching? Okay, Paul, give us a rundown.
As you saw in the trailer, Ryan Reynolds' character, I don't know their character names. Ryan Reynolds' character is in therapy because he has some issues. He's unhappy that he's lost his license for bodyguarding and such. Therapist says, listen, you got to stop dealing with guns, no killing, blah, blah, blah. And so he goes on vacation to try to forget all that. And Salma Hayek pops out of nowhere and grabs them. They go on this big thing where they're being shot at. And it turns out that she needs him to help rescue her husband, Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
Who's been captured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's basically the plot.
At his request.
At his, what she thinks is his request. Mm-hmm. And it turns out later that he said anybody but him. Not him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in case he's lost his AAA rating. In this movie, we meet his father, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And Samuel L. Jackson is... Yeah. How did you not tell me he's black? And I thought, what? I didn't tell you he's a bodyguard? No, you didn't tell me he's... What? I didn't tell you he's a world famous blah? No, you didn't tell me...
A renowned author?
Yep. Okay. Ryan Reynolds does the deadpan humor better than anybody out there. As far he can play that lovable slapstick kind of character when everything's going bad around him, right? That reality sinks in and till he's fed up and that's enough kind of thing, right? Or the action around him's going nuts and he's no, I'm not going to help. No, I'm not going to do it. And then he starts in. So that I think he did that. Samuel L. Jackson does his over the top stuff in this movie.
Yeah. Okay. So I will say that I thought she was a little more crass than she needed to be.
You think?
That was the point of her character.
I get that, but so over the top.
Salma Hayek's character, I bet you that the focus of this movie, that like they said, we want to have a movie that has the most curse words of any other movie in existence. Maybe. I think they were going for that because every 3 out of 4 words out of her mouth was vulgar.
Mm-hmm.
And
I get you want to make her seem like that type of person, but there comes a point where it's just like, okay, can we move on from that?
Yeah. And half the time I couldn't understand what she was saying.
Yeah. Because
like it was mixed in with not only she has the Hispanic accent, but I couldn't tell if she was trying to say words or curse words.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just too much. Too much.
Yeah, I agree.
What did you think of the action? The chase scenes, the fight scenes?
The action was... Okay, so I'll start by saying I don't think that this sequel was as good as Hitman's Bodyguard. I didn't like it as much. However, there were things in this movie that I thought were great. Like Morgan Freeman being the dad. And his whole relationship with his son. And that sort of thing. I loved all that. I thought that was great. I thought it was funny. I didn't think there was enough Samuel L. Jackson in this movie. He was almost absent for most of it, just when he could have been there. I didn't feel the whole I'm not going to use guns because I'm on sabbatical thing. It worked in the beginning, but I think that they didn't need to keep going with that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll answer your question. I thought the action was better than the first movie.
Okay.
I thought there was a lot of funny stuff where Ryan Reynolds, like the way they just dump him places,
Yeah.
or he gets shot out of a car again.
He gets run over.
Yeah.
Multiple times. And he wakes up.
They think he's dead. They throw him face down in a lake.
Say their goodbyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even check if there's a pulse.
Yeah.
They just throw him in the water and all this emotional stuff.
Yeah, so I think all the stuff that happened with him was good. But basically, this movie was just about her swearing and her cleavage. And I think they should have toned that down and gone with some of the other funny stuff.
Yeah. The baby stuff and all that kind of stuff just went on too much.
Yeah.
I liked... There were so many like little scenes in this that just made me burst out loud laughing that I really liked. The one scene when they're getting ready, when they're finally captured at the end by the Secret Service and everything, and they're going, look, you got to let us do what we do. Because you guys are going to take too long. You know, we'll solve this problem for you. And they says, oh, well, what do you need? We're going to need boats, we're going to need guns, and we're going to need those guys.
Yeah.
And you go, and those guys are like, huh?
Yeah, me.
And, guys, are you ready?
They start putting on their, like, cocking their guns and putting on their...
Then you see what great montage of getting ready for an action, and then you see these guys. They're driving on this boat, and all of a sudden the bad guys all chase after them, and they go, what's the guy's
kill
name?
them.
What's the guy? Was it Tony? Tony, I think we're outnumbered. And you got, no kidding. And then they drive into this boat and explode and everything like that. And
The decoys.
And then Ryan Reynolds and Samuel go, geez, I hope Tony and Johan are okay.
Yeah, that
Like,
was good.
Those scenes are great. Or at the end when they're sneaking onto the boat and they get on the back of the boat and they take out the guys on the top and they go, well, I thought there'd be more of a security than that. Then these guys with these water shoes, they pop out of the water, aha, and they're floating. Drop your weapons, aha, and they just go boom, 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 boom. It's kind of not really practical, like. Good humor like that, like that's common sense, funny stuff that would be in a James Bond film. That would work in a James Bond film, you know what I mean? Like, and they just made that funny. And then the best 2 seconds of any movie that I've ever seen. I'm watching this movie, it goes all the way through. The credits are rolling, everything's gone. And then at the end, we have this little caption pop up in loving memory of Tony and Johan. And I cracked, like that's how I ended the movie. I cracked up.
Yeah, there were definitely some aspects of the movie that were hilarious.
Yeah.
If you took out all of the other stuff, this could have been a really good movie. Like it was a decent watch, but it could have been to the caliber of the first movie had they just toned it down in some other areas.
Well, they had the cop from Boston who was kind of like the ringleader trying to get them to do the mission. And I thought his character could have been really good because I liked his personality and his roughness and stuff. But they didn't really use him. He was just kind of like in the background.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the person who's in charge of him was a very two-dimensional, the blonde lady.
The old Ellen DeGeneres looking
Yeah.
woman. Yeah.
I don't know. There were some the main villain, very two-dimensional, not like the Gary Oldman in the first one,
Right.
like, who had this charisma. So the side characters were nothing, but it was an okay movie.
It was an okay movie.
All right. Well, as an okay movie, what would you give it out of 10?
7.
A 7 worth a watch?
Oh yeah.
7.5.
But honestly, if you don't like swearing,
Yeah, if you don't like crass...
if you don't like, although you don't see anything, if you don't like people simulating orgasms, don't watch this movie. Like,
Yeah.
my wife doesn't like that stuff, and I'm trying to watch this movie and have fun with her, and, like, that's what the whole movie is,
Yeah,
you know? So,
right.
I enjoyed the movie. I like Ryan Reynolds. I like Samuel L. Jackson. I like Salma Hayek. Her character was a little over the top, but I think they directed her and said, remember how rough and crass you were in the prison in the first movie? Well, just ramp that up. Use that to your... And they probably... She just went on and on and on, and they used... They took 10 or 9 scenes, and they just said, okay, let's use this part of that scene. We like those lines and that. Let her ad-lib kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Just go off.
less is more.
sometimes, but I think that was what they did. I did like the fact that they, the one point you knew she was going to blow her top, just get angry, but he said no, don't say that about. Please don't say that about her. And you just see her walk calmly to the front of the group. And then she just explodes on them. You blah, blah, blah. And you knew that was... And even Ryan Reynolds going, oh, here we go, kind of thing.
I think they could have used this movie to add some more dimension to her character than just that.
I'm going to give the movie a 7.
What did you give it?
7.5.
Oh.
Better than Black Widow.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of funny parts in this movie, like parts that I laughed out loud.
Oh, yeah. For an action movie, I laughed in this movie. That's in that final...
Yeah, there was just a lot of parts that I thought that we could do
Rest
without.
in peace, Tony. Rest in peace. That was amazing. And I'm going, why are they bringing these guys along on this mission? And then I see what happened.
Decoys are important.
That's why we use decoys.
And I liked they explained his fascination with seatbelts.
Oh, yeah.
And so when he was on the backyard swing, before he left, he had to unclip the little seatbelt in the backyard swing. He was wearing the seatbelt back there. I thought that was funny.
Like, one of the most unbelievable parts in this movie is that he goes up to this gelato stand, and then, like, there's 5 different flavors, and there's this one Rocky Road one that looks really good, and he picks this plain green one. What was that?
What was that all about?
Oh, come on, Ryan.
So, I mean, that knocked it down in its score for me a little bit.
To a 7.5. All right. Let us know if you like this. I think it was a really good sequel for this kind of movie. I enjoyed it, and if they came out with a Hitman's Bodyguard's wife's friend, I'd probably go see it as well.
Well, now it would be a Hitman's Bodyguard's wife's baby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because he's a bit
Baby
adopted.
Hitman.
They go through the movie where Salma Hayek and Samuel L. Jackson can't have a baby, and they're trying. At the end, she finally gets her baby because they adopt Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Right. So now he's their child.
He signs the paper without knowing what it is.
He thought he was getting his license
He thought he's
back.
getting his license back. And he's been adopted. Laugh out loud moments.
Yeah.
Laugh out loud moments. And again, nothing that we've done here has made you laugh. So we're going to wrap it up. Let us know in the comments what you think about the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Until next time, we'll see you on the channel.